of most places in the United States of America. I think we're like number 3, and it's because of the efforts I have done against gangs. Stop glorifying violence and stop making it that some victims don't matter, because victims of all races, of all socioeconomic status matter. So stop talking.
I suspect you may see where this is going. This is the operative indictment in the Cash Out RICO. I've tried to make it through this so many times, but I can't even get to the overt acts without stopping. So I'm not going to mention this spacing here. I'm not even going to talk about the fact that they spelled prohibited wrong, despite there being an example literally right next. We're not gonna get into that. I'm not even gonna go back to the other thing I want to talk about. I'm not gonna talk about how they remembered the grand jurors this time, which is good. I'm not gonna talk about how they said influenced, the Racketeering, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act. I'm not gonna make fun of them for that. I'm not gonna make fun of them for this. I'm not gonna talk about how they used a defined term wrong. I'm not gonna talk about how they define or they explain that John Michael Hakeem Gibson is cash out here, 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 and again in each one of the overt acts in which he is named. We're not going to do that. Well, I did do that like 6 times, and it took way too long, and I didn't get close to even, having a video. So we are going to start with the overt acts. I'm not going to mention those things. Let's see. The first handful are actually correct for the most part. I shouldn't say that. I couldn't find any errors yet in the first handful of overt acts. They're probably there. Here we come to our first moment. This is a copyright sign. That's not a C. Also, this is 16446C, and this is 16546C. Much as the copyright sign isn't a C, 5 is not 4, just like 131 isn't 133. And before I go any further, I just want to say one thing. I was struggling with whether to be this critical, given the underlying offenses, the nature of them, the seriousness of them, the quantity of them. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized it's even more inexcusable. It becomes more inexcusable to make these mistakes the more serious the crimes get. If I didn't aggressively mock their mistakes, I wouldn't be serving anybody. They would never have any incentive to improve if they never get criticism. So I'm going to be harsh. But I don't want that to lead to inferences that I don't care about these things or I don't care about the victims, because to the contrary, I think that they deserve a competent prosecutor to prosecute the people who harmed them, such, that they don't charge 16446 and 16546 one time, 2 times, 3 times. Let me see. You'll see that there are going to be quite a few mistakes that we're going to have to get through. This wasn't a crime at all. Let's see. We have another one here. This was actually the first time I noticed it on number 25. Another one here. Another one here. This one, there are so many mistakes. I'm just scrolling through these to try to see the 546 is wrong here. It's wrong here. It's wrong here. I need to go faster because I'm realizing how many things I'm going to have to get through. Oh, look, they got it right here. Well, they didn't. It's actually wrong for a different reason. But they did charge 16-5-46. And now I'm second guessing myself. Is that even the right one? That is the right one. It is 16-5-46. So good. 16-5-46. Yeah. It looks like they did get it correct towards the end there. For the last three. Delightful. Okay. I'm going to go back up here. Okay. I just want to show, we're going to go through the dates here because this is it's exhausting. Here's an example. They just do June 7th, 2019 down to May 2019. Then they're back to March 18 to June of 19, all of which is before this. And I mean, I don't want to belabor the point, although I probably already have. But see, here again, you have June 7th, 2019 after 2020-21. Then this one is entirely, 52 is entirely before 51, which is entirely before 45, I guess. 6-7-19. It's concurrent with this. And so I think this is the one I wanted to show. Yeah, this one. What you end up with is two events that it's the same event. This was May 29th. John Michael is Cash Out striking Jasmine Brown. 5/29. John Michael is striking Jasmine Brown. Those are going to be merged offenses, meaning you can't be convicted for both. But by displacing them by almost 2 pages, a full page, you just risk mistake and conviction because they're not next to each other. You're not necessarily going to see that they should merge. I don't know why I'm justifying the fact that, something organized by dates should be organized by dates, but here I am. This is what it does to me. This one was confusing because it says 16-6-11 3 times. The defendant, a member of the enterprise, committed the offense 16-6-11 for the said accused in the county of Cobb. Did aid, abet, and command in violation of Georgia law pursuant to 16-6-11. Said act being an active racketeering activity under 16-14-3 in violation of Georgia law pursuant to 16-6-11. An overt act. Fantastic. This one's wrong, as I said before. Wrong. This is wrong. I'll show you why this one's wrong. Here we go. For something to be aggravated assault, it first has to be assault. Let's see here. There we go. This is the assault statute. A person commits the offense of simple assault when they attempt to commit a violent injury on the person of another, or commit an act which places another in reasonable apprehension of immediately receiving an injury. They allege that Tyrone Taylor unlawfully committed an assault upon the person of Jordan Adams by pointing at, toward, and in the direction of Jordan Adams with a handgun. That's not assault. Oh, I didn't show you that. Here we go. The defendant, Tyrone Taylor, did commit the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon by pointing at, toward, and in the direction of Jordan Adams with a handgun, the same being a deadly weapon. As he was missing, the apprehension. You need to allege that Jordan Adams was reasonably put in apprehension. Just pointing a gun at somebody isn't itself assault, not even simple assault. So this is out. This is wrong. Here they forgot to change statute from the previous overt act. False imprisonment. They couldn't be bothered to charge false imprisonment, to allege false imprisonment in these horrific circumstances. This is the one that matches with, hold on, let me zoom out a little bit. With 44, this is the same event. They just put some subsequent events between them for no apparent reason. Okay, here we get to our first one of the alleged keeping a place of prostitution. I guess I can read this one first. CashApp committed the offense of keeping a place of prostitution for the said accused in Fulton County. Did have or exercise control over a place, 737 Alfred Road Northwest, which would offer seclusion or shelter for the practice of prostitution. This one is kind of forgivable, actually. It's a weird statute. Keeping a place of prostitution. A person having or exercising control over the use of any place or conveyance which would offer seclusion or shelter for the practice of prostitution commits the offense of keeping a place. So this is really the important part. Commits the offense of keeping a place of prostitution when he knowingly grants or permits the use of such place for the purpose of prostitution. Go back to the PDF. It doesn't do the second half. It doesn't allege the second half of the statute. This just says it would, as in it hypothetically could offer seclusion. They don't allege that it was so used. So this is wrong. 106 is one of my 3 favorites. Did unlawfully have on and within arm's reach. That should be or, but it's fine. A handgun. Yep, that's correct. This is wrong, as I said before. Let's see. Keeping a place of, this is the same thing we talked about before, which would offer seclusion or shelter. That's not it. That's not enough. 1669. I believe those were all alleged correctly. Here we go again. 6719 is after 2020. Let's see if there's anything else on 6719 up here. Yeah, this is 6719. This was 6719. But for some reason, this one down here is separated from the others. They did charge the right number this time, 5 instead of 4. Oh, let's keep that actually. So let's go. So it was March of 18 to June 1 of 19. That implicates this version, which was, so far we have July of 17 to June 30 of 18, which is within range. We have July of 18 to April of 19, and April of 19 through June of 19. So that covered, this relates to 3 different versions of the statute. So the problem with that is, I think this is one of the ones that doesn't work for. Let me just open these up. Okay, 16546C. And this is it is April 29th of 19 to June 7th of 19. And Linda Smith is accused of 16546C for the said accused did benefit financially and received anything of value, which could be better, from the servitude of Jasmine Brown. So this is the correct June 30. Yeah. Person commits the offense of trafficking. That person knowingly subjects an individual, recruits, entices, harbors purposes, solicits, or patronizes. There's nothing there about value. Sorry, it's kind of small, but you'll see that C3 now reads benefits financially or by receiving anything of value from the servitude of another. So they were using the current version of the statute rather than the one that was in effect at the time, which means that it would be an ex post facto violation. Or, I don't know, the enforcement of an ex post facto law, I guess, to charge this way. Looks like I had a problem with this date. Oh, I see what they did. This is another mismatch. They charged, this is like the 16546, 16446, or the one where they confused unlawful imprisonment with, I think it was battery. They forgot to change this part. They just copied and pasted it. This one is not charged correctly. 16611. Yeah. So, Cash Out charged with taking the victim to a place when she knew that the transportation was for the purpose of prostitution. Now, I knew without reading the statute that this was going to be wrong. If you remember Legally Blonde, Elle Woods, the first thing she said upon being appointed lead counsel, a thing that happens, that there's no mens rea, which means there's no crime without a guilty mind. So when I see this section mentioned, she knew, when the victim knew, rather than the defendant knew, alarm bells go off. They didn't, because I knew it was wrong because of who wrote it, but this is what it says. 16611, a person commits the offense when he or she performs any of the following acts. And they are referring to this one. Directs or transports another person to a place when he or she knows or should know that the direction or transportation is for the purposes of prostitution. That he or she is referring to the driver, not to the victim. The full sentence is, oh, I have no idea how that happened. A person commits the offense when he or she directs or transports. Here, I'm going to stab my computer. When he or she performs any of the following acts, when he or she knows. It's referring to the driver, not to the passenger. So this is wrong. Let me just show you this. This is the Pandaringo I was talking about. Also, I think this is the same address as before. I'm almost positive it is. They change. They changed the address. It's Alfred Road here. And it's Alfred Drive in the last one. No, there were results found. Oh, no, there weren't. Give me what I want. It's Alfred Drive. Are there others? It's back to Alfred Road. No, not you. Alfred Road. Alfred Road. What do we have here? We have Alfred Road in the counts. Alfred Road, Road, Drive. It's not a big deal. It's just human trafficking.
He's doing an amazing job. We are making sure that this community is safe.
I didn't know where in the video this was going to take me, but that couldn't have been better. That couldn't have worked out better if I had planned it.
So what taxpayers that I say, what my constituents say who just voted me by 68% is she's doing an amazing job. We are making sure that this community is safe, that crime is the lowest here of most places in the United States of America. I think we're like number 3, and it's because
Don't worry about any of the things I just read. It's great. It's great.
of the efforts I have done against gangs. Stop glorifying violence and stop making it that some victims don't matter, because stop glorifying violence and stop making it that some victims don't matter, because
Stop making it so some victims don't matter.